1 करोड़ रुपए जूनियर डॉक्टर मैं बता रहा हूँ. This is what he means.
आशीष, मान लो कोई ऐसा इंसान है जिसको 48 घंटे भी नहीं काम कर पा रहा, क्या
तुम्हें स्ट्रेस हो रहा है भाई, नहीं कर पा रहे, तो they can be like, okay, we'll reduce your duration to maybe 80% of the training or 60% of the total duration, और वो तुम्हारा overall duration बढ़ा देंगे.
Hello, my name is Prince Kaushik, and for those who don't know me, I'm a final year MEP student at AIIMS Jodhpur. Speaking of AIIMS, today we have another AIIMS Onion, one who is not stopping at just being that. We have Dr. Ashish Bamania, who is a GP trainee in the United Kingdom and also has interest in artificial intelligence, finance, music, and programming. And today, he'd be taking us through his journey from the best medical college of India to the best healthcare system in the world. So, Dr. Ashish, would you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, so as Prince previously mentioned, my name is Dr. Ashish Bamania. I am an alumni of AIIMS New Delhi. I started my MBBS in 2013. I finished in 2018, and I came to UK in 2019 and got into GP training in 2020. So yeah, since then I have been working in the UK.
Why, Dr. Ashish? Why the UK? What were the factors during your time that led you towards this path?
So there were a few reasons why I specifically went for the UK. I had 3 countries in my mind when I started deciding where I want to do my post-graduation training from. The first one was the US, the second one was UK, third one was Germany, okay? So to explore US, I went for a conference to present a research paper. And this was during my medical college. And I found out that US was not the right place for me because it didn't feel so homely. So I couldn't go to the US because of that. Also, the second thing was that I was exploring so many other things in my life. So I already had a band, I was playing music, I was performing live, and I wanted to do a lot more other things. So I wanted to have a very good work-life balance so that medicine is not taking all the time that I have in my life. And US was not the right place for it because you have to work really, really long hours in the US.
Definitely.
UK was a very good place where you have very good work-life balance because of the European Working Time Directive. So according to that, you have to work for 48 hours a week, and you cannot work more than that. If you have to work more than that, they'll have to pay you extra. So that was one of the reasons that I wanted to come to the UK because of the work-life balance.
Sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Ashish. I would like to let my audience know that it's 48, not 84, not 108, not any other number. It's 48 hours. You heard it right.
So, Dr. Ashish, मान लो कोई ऐसा इंसान है जिसको 48 घंटे भी नहीं काम कर पा रहा, क्या कोई ऐसा तरीका है कि उससे भी कम काम कर पाए वो?
Yes. So there's something that is called less than full-time training. Okay. इसमें ऐसा होता है कि if you are someone जिसके पास बहुत सारी चीजें करने को है, for example you, अब तुम्हारा YouTube चैनल है, तुम चाहते हो कि YouTube चैनल भी चले, है ना? और someone who has some kind of thing like they have kids, या फिर तुम्हें स्ट्रेस हो रहा है भाई, नहीं कर पा रहे, तो they can be like, okay, we'll reduce your duration to maybe 80% of the training or 60% of the total duration, और वो तुम्हारा overall duration बढ़ा देंगे. If you make it to like 80%, वो तुम्हारी सैलरी भी कम नहीं करेंगे, ड्यूरेशन बढ़ा देंगे. बट अगर तुम 60% कर देते हो तो मैं 60% का पैसा देंगे, मगर ड्यूरेशन बढ़ा देंगे.
80% is just fine.
So
ऐसा भी नहीं जाना चाहिए ना इंडियंस में.
It's very flexible.
That's just great.
Yeah.
Thank God ये मिस नहीं हुआ. This is an important point. ये मेरे को पता नहीं था. Seriously, I've been researching for a long time for PLAB. Actually, USA, I also don't.
That was the biggest reason for me to move to the UK. The second one was that it was closer to home. It was closer to India. So the time difference was not
definitely
a lot. And the third one was that it was closer to Europe. So I could travel a lot. And it's easy to get citizenship in the UK. So if you stay here for 6 years, you get citizenship. But if you're living in US or some other country, it's a bit tough to get citizenship.
Did you have a family in the UK? For many of us, we feel like we don't have a family in a Western world. So we might resist towards going there. So was that any factor in your life?
Not really. So I don't have any family in the UK. I just have a few of my seniors from AIIMS who are living in the UK, but I don't have any other family members apart from that.
So you mentioned the GP training. What is the GP training? We here in India have no idea.
So in India, you don't have a postgraduate specialty that is general practice, but in all other countries apart from India, you have someone who is called a general practitioner. So people usually go to their general practitioner first, okay? And then the general practitioner tries to solve that problem. And if he can't solve that problem, he'll refer you to other specialties. But in India, the opposite happens. If you have a headache, you can directly go to the neurosurgeon. You can't do it in other countries.
So this GP training of yours is really interesting. Before diving deep into the GP training, would you please take us to the timeline of your PLAB journey? When did that thought occur to you? Like you have to give.
So when I went for the conference in the US, it was in around 2017, and then I decided that US was not for me. So I started finding about the pathway to the UK and everything. I spoke to some people here, and I researched for around 1 year or so. And after that, I had my exams, like my final year exams. So I went for those. And after that, I started preparing for my IELTS exam. That is the English language test exam. That is the first step if you want to come to the UK. And it was in my internship. So it was in the initial 3 months of my internship.
All right.
After that, in the same year, I went for the PLAB 1 exam. And so it was in November of 2018.
Your internship.
Yeah. So when I passed my PLAB 1 exam in November 2018, my internship got over in December 2018. So I had to take up some job. So I took a non-training, or what you say, house job in AIIMS. And I was working in the Department of Radiotherapy for like 2 months. And then I quit that job.
What else?
Yeah. Then I went to the UK, prepared for my PLAB 2 for 1 month or 1.5 months there. Went for my PLAB 2 in April of 2019. And after that, I went for a clinical elective there and came back to India. And after that, I started applying for my GMC registration. That is one of the process to get registered as a doctor in the UK.
All right.
And I simultaneously was applying for lots of interviews. I went for one of my interviews and got a surgical post here. So I started working as a formal doctor in around October of 2019. So it took like one year or so to start with the whole journey and end up as a doctor.
Voila, doctor in the UK.
Yes.
So that about the GP training, when did that start?
So I was working as a surgical doctor initially, but I didn't feel like becoming a surgeon because I was not enjoying surgery a lot. I was more inclined towards lots of other specialties, and I didn't want to limit my medical exposure just to surgery, where you're just doing a very, very small part in the medicine. I wanted to explore more. I wanted to see what my interest areas are really. So I went for this exam that is called MSRA. It is one of the common exams for different specialties, right? So I appeared for this MSRA. It was just a practice exam for me. I didn't plan to get into GP training, but fortunately, I scored really high. So I skipped the interviews for GP training because my score was high and I got a GP training post. So that's how I ended up in GP.
Regarding this timeline of yours, आपके पास कुछ advice है क्या बाकी undergrads के लिए? Like, is there a specific time that when you should start thinking about giving PLAB and moving to UK?
So first of all, you should really ask yourself whether you want to move to the UK or not. You should not look at other people whether they are moving to the UK or not. If you have a lot of things to do in life, and if you feel that the Indian medical system won't be able to accommodate you, then you should think about moving abroad. Okay. But if you feel that you won't be able to live alone in a different country, then you should definitely not move to another country if you're not like mentally prepared for that, because it's a tough
That's
process.
a pretty short.
Yeah.
That's a pretty short and just to the point answer to that question, I would say.
Yeah.
So regarding that GP training, sir, that is it specifically more beneficial to the international medical graduates? Like, is it that they get it more easily?
So it's not like that. GP training is one of the easiest specialties to get in because the competition for it is very less. But because all the doctors are considered equal, so Indians or like Asians do not have easier chances of getting into a particular specialty. So it is same for everyone.
Oh, that's
because
good.
it is overall
That's-
simple. So people usually tend to go into GP training.
That's at least one myth busted in this video.
Yeah.
So
Before anything further, since we are Indians, we don't talk about things beyond money. So Dr. Ashish, show me some money. Come on, show me some money. The notion that salaries in the UK are not enough, is that true?
Okay. I think that is a big myth that has been, I don't know, spread by someone who doesn't have a name. I feel the salaries are more than enough. You can afford to have a very, very, very good lifestyle as a junior doctor. There are people who don't want to progress to like becoming a consultant because of all the other things involved, right? If you're a consultant, you have so much responsibility, complaints, paperwork. And if you're earning well enough as a junior doctor, so lots of people decide to just become a junior doctor and like
that's new.
Yeah. And the money is amazing because apart from NHS, you can always do private practice. You can always do locums. Locums are like some shifts that you can do.
Dr. Ashish, हमें गुमराह मत कीजिए, आप हमें numbers बताइए. Give me some numbers.
Okay, all right. So when you're working as a junior doctor, you will start with a salary of around £2,500 after taxes. Okay, that is around 2.5 lakh rupees INR
per month.
Yeah,
after taxes.
After taxes, right? And this can be a bit low if you decide not to do any on calls. Okay, but because I was on an on-call rota, so I had to do some weekends, some on calls.
We are Indians now. We are Indians. We will not miss that. Don't worry about us. Yeah. Just keep going with the numbers, sir.
Yeah. So this figure contains 50% extra from your basic salary. So if you decide not to do any on calls and you just want to do regular work like 9 to 5 days a week, you will get a bit less. So it will be around 1.7 lakh Indian rupees or so.
So can a person survive on that? Matlab, not survive. Can he live happily in UK with that amount? Is it possible?
Definitely, it is very much possible. But it also depends on what the person's wants are and where he is living. So if there's a junior doctor who wants to spend lavishly, like he wants to buy the most expensive phones all the time, and you want to live in central London and you want to party every night, so it can be a bit tough.
Why is it sounding like me suddenly?
So it might be a bit tough. But if you have like decent wants, okay, and you want to have a good life as a junior doctor, then it's good enough. So in £1,700, you will be able to like afford most of the things. You will have a very good car. You can live in a very good house. Okay, you can obviously buy everything that you want, like in your day-to-day life, groceries and everything, and you can still save money on top of that. But if you're living in like really expensive parts of the country, then you might have to live on your salary. You might not save anything in that £1,700. But don't worry, you won't be living on £1,700. It will be around £2,300 to £2,500.
That's assuring.
What about the consultants? How much do they earn?
So consultants who just work in NHS, they earn from around £80,000 to £110,000 per year before.
For the Indian viewers, that is 1 crore. Like £100,000 is 1 crore rupees per year.
Yeah. So that is before taxes. And these people, this is the basic salary. Apart from that, you will be teaching medical students, you will be doing some research work, lots of other things. You can take so many other responsibilities and you will get paid for that. And
on average, what is the amount? Like, give me a number. On average, what is the amount a consultant takes home?
About £100,000. But it depends. If you're doing private practice, you can make like £1 million as well. So yeah, so it's very variable, you know.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Way cooler than USA.
So it is like that. Yes.
Great.
So the audience, after hearing all of these amazing salaries, do let me know in the comment section के कैसा लगा, अच्छा लगा, बढ़िया लगा, बुरा लगा, कैसा लगा. Just write something down in the comment section. Before we go ahead, Dr. Ashish, you just mentioned junior doctor. What are the other various terms that Indians or the undergrads here should know before entering into the...
So there are lots and lots of terms. Some are old terms, some are new terms. So
The basic terms.
Let's
The
start
basic
with
terms.
the old
Just
terms.
that.
Okay, let's start with the old terms. So there is something that is called F5 house officer and senior house officer, HO and SHO. They have been changed to FY1 and FY2. Okay, so that is foundation year 1 and foundation year 2, and this is basically intern. Okay, so like in India, you have internship here as well, and in India you have it for 1 year, but here you have to do internship for 2 years. Okay, so after you do your internship for 2 years, you apply for post graduation, and that is called core training. And that's CT.
Yep.
Okay, so you'll have CT1, CT2. Now these have some other names as well. Okay, so a CT can also be called a clinical fellow, so they can be called a junior clinical fellow.
Oh,
yeah,
junior clinical fellow. All right.
And this is like someone who's doing MS or MD in India. Okay,
Understood.
and then there is specialty training doctor, and that is a registrar, and that is like someone who's doing the DM or MCH from India.
After the registrar, what do we have? Consultant.
We have consultants. So
What about the senior research fellows?
So any kind of senior post is a specialty training post. Okay. So any post like senior research fellow, senior clinical fellow, they're all ST doctors or registrars.
ST doctors. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Now that we are convinced, thanks to you, that UK is a good place, we are convinced, right? So let's talk about how to get there. Please tell us the anatomy of the PLAB and the UKMLA. Just quickly, let's just rush through it.
So PLAB 1 usually contains all the final year subjects. Okay, and the questions are quite straightforward. They do not involve a lot of memorization. They're mostly clinical scenarios. They test your clinical knowledge rather than your memory. So PLAB 1 is like that. It's a written exam, 180 questions. And after that, yeah, so PLAB 1 is basically a much easier exam as compared to the post-graduation exam in India.
Where do we give it? Where do we give it the PLAB 1?
You have so many centers, so you can give it in India, you can give it abroad.
In India, right?
Yeah, I went for my center in New Delhi.
Great. What after the PLAB 1?
So after PLAB 1, you have to give PLAB 2, and PLAB 2 is usually held in the UK, right? I'm not really sure whether they have started some more centers apart from the UK as well, but I feel that it's still held in the UK, right? So it's held in Manchester and London. So I went for the Manchester one.
What is it about, the PLAB 2?
It's more of an OSCE exam where they are testing how you consult with patients. So there are like 18 stations. Because of COVID, they have reduced it to 16. There you have to just, so there are different rooms in a hall, and there's a simulator who's an actor who's sitting inside. And there's a question in front of that room. You have to read that and do the things that are mentioned in the question.
All right. So it's just an OSCE based exam, the practical exam.
It is, yes.
And what is the passing percentage? Like how many people get through it and how many can't make it through? Is there any number you have, like?
I think about 70 to 80% people pass in the first attempt. So
that's just great news for us, guys.
that's a
चलो
good
UK
base.
चलते हैं सब.
That's a great number. Yeah.
नाउ आफ्टर द एनाटमी लाइक ठीक है, आपने मेरे को कन्विंस कर लिया है, तो डॉक्टर साहब ये बताओ कि मेरी जेब पे कितना खर्चा आने वाला है यूके का?
पूरा खर्चा मिला के it can be around 10 lakhs or 11 lakhs in the whole journey. So you'll have your IELTS, that is the first step, that is the English language test, or OET, and they are around 18-20,000 Indian rupees. Uske baad you go for PLAB 1. PLAB 1 is about 20,000 or between 20 to 30,000. And then you have your PLAB 2 exam, that is about 90,000 Indian rupees. Okay. But when you're going for your PLAB 2, you'll have to apply for visas and you'll have to book an accommodation. You'll have to pay for the academy where you're preparing for your PLAB 2. So when you're booking for your PLAB 2, you'll have to give the PLAB 2 fees, you'll have to give the academy fees, you have to apply for visa, you have to book accommodation, you will have living expenses in the UK. So it can be the major chunk in your whole journey. So it can be around...
What I have researched till now, like what I read everywhere, it said 5 to 6 lakh rupees. This is something new I'm hearing.
That's quite a huge amount. I would say that it is around 2 to 3 lakh rupees.
Where?
For the PLAB 2 exam.
So still it doesn't sum up to 10 lakh rupees, as you said. That is the thing I'm saying.
Oh, so you're okay. So now why I'm saying 10 lakh rupees is because I went for a lot of other things as well. So I went for a clinical elective in that duration. Okay.
All right.
And it also depends where you're living, what academy you're going to, and how much time you're keeping in between your PLAB exams. So some people can decide like, I will just give my PLAB 2 in 1 month. Okay. But I was like, no, I'll give myself a few more weeks. So you'll have to pay a few lakh rupees there for that accommodation, for the groceries, for your living expenses.
So according to, what you mean, I would like to summarize that. According to one's comfort, the amount can vary anywhere between 5 to 10 lakh rupees. That's what you mean. Is that right? So it's 5 to 10 lakh rupees based on your comfort level. So that's pretty good. Compared to USMLE, that's not that expensive, I would say. Is it true?
Yes. So going to the US might cost somewhere between 20 to 30 lakh rupees.
17 to 20 lakh rupees for USMLE.
Yeah,
definitely.
Once I read on a blog that getting the visa to the UK is very tiresome. Like they keep cancelling your visas and then you reapply, and that is it true?
A lot of people can struggle with the PLAB 2 visa because lots of the visa places or the visa issuing places in India do not give you a visa if you tell them that you're going for your PLAB 2 exam and you'll be attending a coaching institute, because that visa is not for like attending any course or something in the UK. So if you're applying from South India, most of your visas will get rejected. But if you apply from Delhi or somewhere else, and even if you tell them that you will be attending this coaching, they won't be declining it.
What are the chances that in case like मैंने PLAB कर लिया and I get a non-training job there, कि ऐसे कोई chances हैं that I don't get into the training, the PG training? And what after that? What will happen if I don't get into a training? Because unlike India, where we get the training on the basis of the exam, there we have to have a portfolio.
Yeah.
So what about that?
So first of all, it is highly unlikely that you won't get into a training post, and it can depend what kind of training post you want. For example, if you want to go for neurosurgery training, you'll have just 9 seats or 9 posts in the whole country for the year. So you won't get in easily, right? But if you're applying for GP training that has like 2,000 posts, you can easily get in. So it depends on what specialty you're going on for first. So let's say if you're going for surgery or something, okay, surgery is still better. So it's very easy to get into surgery, medicine, GP training, but it's difficult to get into neurosurgery because that is a totally different pathway. It depends on what specialty you're going for first of all, okay. If you're just going for any specialty that you can get, you will easily get into some or the other specialty, right?
So that's not an issue.
No. And the second thing that you said, that what will you do if you can't get into a PG post? So if you can't get into a PG post, you can keep working as a non-training doctor and you can keep earning money. You can live a very lavish life. There are lots of people who don't go for post-graduation training. They just become junior doctors or non-training senior doctors and they live their life like that. And it's amazing, you know. You can do lots of like hourly work and you can get paid lots more. Like I know people who are junior doctors who are earning 100,000 rupees, not rupees, pounds per year. So
Pounds.
yeah, it's not
Junior doctors can earn up to 100,000 pounds.
Definitely, if you do full-time locum job.
That's just like Indian population को तो मतलब ये हवा ही नहीं लगेगी like
1 crore रुपए junior doctor मैं बता रहा हूँ. This is what he means. So let's just say that everything works out. How long will it take for the UK citizenship? Like everything works out.
So if you're working continuously on this tier 2 visa, that is the work visa, you will get ILR, that is indefinite leave to remain, in 5 years. Okay. And once you get that, the next year you can apply for citizenship and you will get it. So it takes 6 years to get citizenship if you're living here continuously for 6 years.
6 years. That is regardless if you get into a PG training or you just have to be there.
It doesn't matter. You have to have a work visa.
Dr. Ashish, regarding this, मैंने कहीं पे पढ़ा था एक blog में that UK government is really reluctant to give this citizenship to Indians and Pakistanis. Is it true in any sense?
No, I think that is a myth. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. I think that's just
second myth busted.
Just people spreading false news.
Salary वाला भी false ही था.
Yeah. Yeah.
After talking all these sweet things, sugar coated maybe, please tell us that is there anything you know that we should take as a disadvantage of going to UK?
Please tell us.
Now it depends from person to person here. Like one of the cons for coming to the UK can be the weather. Most of the days you don't have a very sunny weather. You'll have a cloudy weather or you'll have rains, and the summertime lasts for a very short duration. So you can say like from March to August or something, or September, okay? And then you can have very short days after that if you are living here in December or so. So that can be one of the cons. Professionally, one of the cons can be some people want to like really work very, very hard. So I have known too many Indian doctors who I've worked with, and they are constantly complaining कि India में तो हम इतने time में 10 case कर लेते थे, यहाँ तो ये 2 ही लगाते हैं. So they have this deep dissatisfaction inside of them that why are they not like doing so many cases in that duration. So that can be something that can be very dissatisfying. And if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of things to do on the side, you can feel a bit bored in the UK, honestly. And the other thing is that it can be very mentally exhausting if you're not mentally prepared for it. Okay.
That is for any country, right?
That is
like,
for any
even
country.
If you go to USA, that is for any country.
Yeah. Specifically, I haven't found anything in particular that is bad in the UK, honestly.
What about
money can be a issue for some people, because lots of people think that if you're working in NHS, you should be paid more, because in US, you can make around $200,000-$300,000 if you're working in a hospital as a consultant. But you'll have to understand that is a private practice, right? Here you're working in NHS.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ashish. Is there anything else that you would like to address to the audience?
There's a major thing that I really wanted to talk about. This is something that most junior doctors or medical students do not do. I feel that lots of people in India, they are constantly trying to chase dreams that are sold by some other people. They do not know what they really want, and they have never thought about it, because they are just constantly trying to like go to either a coaching or clear an exam, or they are very busy in their wards and things like that. So I think you should try to explore lots of other things. There is so much more to life than just medicine. Okay, so you should try to develop some other skills that will help you grow as a person. Okay, you should pause and think what you really want to do. Lots of people have this idea that सर्जन बन जाओ उसके बाद तो लाइफ चिल है. ये ऐसा होता था ना कि 10th के बाद होता था कि 10वीं पास कर लो, अब इसके बाद बस बहुत बढ़िया मौज करो. It doesn't work like that. And if you do not read outside work, if you don't have other hobbies, if you do not grow yourself as a person overall, you will still remain very immature even if you are a consultant. And life is not that easy.
Definitely.
So pause, think what you want to do, and take some time, man. Like most of the people can afford to eat food and live with their parents for some time, right? So explore during your initial years.
So that was Dr. Ashish for us. In case you want to get in touch with him, उनके Instagram और YouTube चैनल का लिंक मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूंगा. एंड अगर आप अभी भी कंफ्यूज्ड हैं प्लैब, नीट पीजी या यूएसएमएलई के बीच में, तो एक बेसिक इंट्रोडक्टरी वीडियो यू कैन फाइंड समवेयर ऑन द कॉर्नर्स. यस, एंड in case you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe the channel either, and do let me know in the comment section कि अगली वीडियो किस टॉपिक पे बनाई जाए. Till then, bye bye.